Friends, nowadays a heated controversy is going on in the media regarding the martyrs of Malabar Rebellion. So you might have seen every channel and newspapers are discussing on the issue. And at the same time, very misinterpreted ideas are going on. No one is looking to the facts, and the facts remain as facts. But we have to look it out. So what is going on now is the controversy among the political parties. The political parties had taken the history in their own hands and they are interpreting it in their own way. So that is what happening now in the media. So every party, they try to locate these events in their own way. So what happened in the last year in Kerala, the controversy was over a film, not a film but many films which are coming on the eve of the 100 years of Malabar Rebellion on Varian Kunat Kunyahamad Haji, who was the martyr of the Malabar Rebellion. So the rival organizations like RSS and its Parivar, they made it a controversy by saying that Varian Kunat Kunyahamad Haji was not a martyr and the Malabar Rebellion was not a part of independence movement. So you think over it. We have to see what the history was there. So this controversy continued and it reached in Delhi when the Prime Minister decided to release 5 volumes of Indian martyrs. But in the last volume, which is connected with South India, particularly of Kerala, Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh and Karnataka. So in this volume, there are the names of the warriors and the martyrs of Malabar Rebellion. And suddenly, the Hindutva forces, they rose against it and they very affirmed that, or they insisted that the names of these martyrs in the name of Malabar Rebellion should be removed from the volume. So there were heated discussions and the ICHR, they appointed a committee of 3 members, a panel of 3 members. And these members, they had to do away with these martyrs. And now again, the news came in the newspapers that about 387 names have been removed. So I have gone through this volume, this 5th volume. It is already there in the websites. And there are about 330 or 40 names of Malabar martyrs. And also there are other Muslim names. They are connected with the rebellion in Hyderabad, Bangalore, Tamil Nadu, etc. And you see the whole book is about 270 pages. And there are about 1,100 names of the martyrs. So you suppose if the 387 martyrs, the names are removed, that the whole book will become half. Because many of the names, other than the Mappila martyrs, are very few and with few lines. But they have given vastly or described vastly all the members or all the martyrs who lost their lives in the Malabar Rebellion. So what will happen? The whole book will become a small one when compared with the other volumes. Okay, there is no problem, whatever it may be. But what is the reason behind this? For long these martyrs are there and they had fought against the British and they are regarded as martyrs. Then how can you remove their names? Who are you to remove? What is your right? Can you cite any name of RSS or Hindutva, these Hindutva forces, whether they had given any man's name or sacrificed their life for the sake of freedom. There was no RSS men who gave their life for freedom. So such organizations who had nothing to do with freedom struggle, they are giving or they are coming to the forefront to strike these names. They had no right. And they insist that this Malabar rebellion was a Hindu genocide. So this genocide is a very, very good word to hear. But when it came, then who can prove that the Malabar rebellion was a Hindu genocide? So what is the history of it? Have you gone through it? So in Malabar, not only in Malabar, the Khilafat movement was not originated from Malabar. It originated in Delhi. Mahatma Gandhi, that when he left South Africa and he came to India as the president of Indian National Congress, he found that there was no movement, nothing is going on in India against the British. There are organizations like Congress or Muslim League or anything. So they are not working for their freedom, but they are working to get some seats or some reservation in the British Council of India or in the Viceroy's Council or any other such councils, not the freedom of India. But Mahatma Gandhi realized, unless and until the whole Indians are united, there will be no force to fight for the freedom or to fight for the dominion status. So that is how he found where the illness lies. And he found that there should be unity between Hindus and Muslims. And also, he looked through what are the ills of the society. He found that among Hindus, there is untouchability, that they cannot be united when there is untouchability. And also the Harijans or the scheduled caste, what we call, they are ousted from the society. So they cannot be united. So Mahatma Gandhi took that the Hindus should be united, that the untouchability should be removed. And also there should be the emancipation of the downtrodden masses. Then there will be unity among Hindus. And among Muslims, he found that the Muslims are united over Khilafats. So they should be united in the name of Khilafat. Otherwise, there will be Shias, Sunnis, Ahmadis and other people. But everyone is, they have regard for the Khalifa and this is their spiritual head. So he found that through these Khilafats, he can unite the Muslims. And both this can be united again. And that is why he brought non-cooperation and Khilafat movement in a single way, in a single entity. And he asked his congressman that it is your duty to look after the welfare of both the religious people, not only Hindus or Muslims, but the religions, the communities of the whole India. So thus the unity was coming into being and the Khilafat movement was started. Gandhiji was as the head of the movement, and there was many Muslim leaders, Maulana Muhammad Ali, Shaukat Ali, and also Maulana Azad, and also the other Congress leaders. So now there was India was vibrant to get the freedom. Everywhere there were reactions, there were meetings, and also there was the people, they came into the streets shouting their slogans against the British. So it was a novel one. The whole India has become vibrant. And you see Mahatma Gandhi and Shaukat Ali was touring all over the country to unite the whole people in the name of Khilafats. This happened in Malabar also. Everywhere there were skirmishes, there were fights, and also there were processions, everything. And he also insisted, Mahatma Gandhi and the Khilafat leaders, they also insisted that there should be complete ahimsa, complete non-violence. And when we come to Malabar, Malabar has been a hotbed of strikes and also the movement even before the Khilafat movement. Because here the fight was between the landlords and the tenants. It happened, or it was there during the time of Tipu and also before that. But when the British came, they took the landlords to their side, and both these parties united a conspiracy against the tenants. And in the among the tenants, there were a section there were Mappilas, and also these Mappilas, they were Muslims, and also Hindu tenants were also there. So these two people were hard pressed through the very iron hand of the landlords with the help of the British. And what was happening during the time of Tipu, that he has given a free hand to the riots. Free hand to the riots means to the peasants, to the cultivators, to the tenants. And the tenants, they undermining the landlords, they directly paid their taxes to the Sultan. So they felt that they were much free, and many of them, the landlords, they left the country by fearing the caste problems, and also they were not ready to accept what these regulations made by Tipu Sultan. Tipu Sultan, what he has done, he made roads all over the area, and he did away with the untouchability, and everyone was given access to the courts. Whether the landlord or tenant, they can come and sit together. They had to come and sit together and make their arguments. So this was not accepted by the landlords because it was against their belief and also against their caste system, because they were adamant in caste system. So you see, unlike in other parts of the country, even in 19th century, when Vivekananda visited Malabar, what he was telling, he said that Malabar is a madhouse. It is a madhouse and every people are mad, because he was mocking at the untouchability prevailed in Malabar. So such was the adamancy of the caste system which was prevailing in Malabar. So during Tipu's time, he did away with all this caste system and everything, and he asked all the people to live together, but this was not accepted by the landlords, and they left the place. And it is after 12 years when the British again occupied this land, Malabar, and they brought all these landlords to Malabar, and with their help, they made their rule very firm here. So naturally, the tenants were hard pressed and they were punished, and they were evacuated or evicted from their lands, and also there were no factual things happened, but they had no arguments. Everyone, the judiciary and the lawyers and the officials, everyone, they were supporting the landlords, and the tenants had no voice. So it was this time, many tenants, they were having, without finding any hope, they found that some leaders of Muslims that had just came to Malabar, Mamburam Tangal, and many of these leading Muslim leaders from Arabian country, they were sitting in Malabar, and also they consoled the people, and they were with people, working with the people, and the people, they made or they put their grievances before the Sayyids, and they prayed for them, and also they argued with the landlords for the sake of the tenants. So what was the result? Many of the tenants automatically they converted to the religion of the saviors, the saints. So everywhere the people were, we find that the people were converting to these new faiths. And this kind of resistance was going on there. Now after converting to the new faiths, they fought against the landlords, because being a Hindu tenant, there was no room for making any fight against the landlord, because it was a sin to make any fight, or to think against the landlord was a sin in Hinduism. So they converted en masse to the religion of Islam. And you see that in all these struggles, Malabar struggles, we find this kind of Mappilas, they were fighting against the landlords. Who were these Mappilas? They never came from any other country, but they were tenants. They lived in the same place. And only thing was that in order to fight against the landlords, they had converted to the new religion. So the conversion was there, the fight was there, and it was this time that this was continuing from 19th century. It was continuing. And in 1921, till that time, they got their idea from the religion. Because their religion, the new faith said that you had to fight against the exploiters. So there was fierce fighting. And the low class Hindus also joined with them. But now, the things were changing. That during the time of when the British came, and all kind of very unauthoritative, illegal eviction was going on. That the people were uniting. These Thangals or the Sayes were leading them. And the fightings took place. And this was directly against the landlords on one side, and on the other side it was against the British. And we find that British officers were killed, collectors were killed, and also many landlords were killed. Don't think that they were against all the British people. Don't think that they were all against the landlords. Only few landlords who were stern against the tenants, who had demolished their mosques and who had demolished their cemeteries or their graveyards. So because of that, the fighting became very acute. This was what happening till 1921. It was exclusively in Malabar. But in 1921, the Khilafat movement was going on, and Mahatma Gandhi and Shaukat Ali, they came at Calicut and they preached Khilafat movement and asked the people to create Khilafat committees all over the land. And you see many Hindu and Muslim leaders, they jointly working for the Khilafats. There was Madhav Nair, there was Raman Menon, there was Keshava Menon, there was Narayana Menon, and many other very important leaders of Malabar. They jointly, with the Mappilas, they created committees, formed committees at different parts of the region or of the district, Malabar district. And this was actually what was going on. And again, in the next year, there was a conference of Congress in Mancheri conference. It was highly packed with the Mappilas, because the Mappilas had a chance of getting their freedom from the landlords, because many of the Congress people, now it has become vibrant again. Congress has become vibrant with the arrival of Mahatma Gandhi. And these Congress leaders, they stood for the tenants. And in the Mancheri conference, there was heated controversy between the landlord class and also those who were supporting the tenants. So the landlord class, they failed. They were defeated in the conference. And even Annie Besant has to resign from the Congress. So that was happening at that time. And this continued. And at many regions, you see the British took a very stern action against the Khilafatists. The Khilafat people, in the beginning, they were following the Ahimsa method, non-violent method, making strikes or making their processions, and they were objecting to the indecent activities which was prevailing upon the tenants. So such kind of activities were going on. But the British authorities, they thought that it should be stricken. It should be stopped. And all these Khilafat activities should be stopped in the region. So they took a stern measure against the Khilafat leaders. At many places, the Khilafat members were detained, they were arrested, and they were put harsh difficulties upon them. Not only on these people, but also their families were not spared. They attacked many of the families. And also there were people who were supporting the government. There were the Muslim Janmis or the Muslim landlords. And also there were the officials, Muslim officers like Adhigaris, and also the police people and the sepoys. And also there were some scholars among Muslims. And also there were some Sayyid people like Kundoti Tangal. All of them were supporting the government. So with the help of these people, the government created problems against the Khilafat people. Everywhere they were arrested. Their houses were looted. And they were not allowed to remain in their homes. And we see many of the Mappila fighters or the Mappilas had to leave their place. And they had to take refuge in the hills or in the forests. So all these were happening. And also a group under MSP, we know Malabar Special Police. It is a body of the Hindu Nayars, and these people also, they also started working against the Khilafat leaders. So in order to infuriate the Khilafatists and to make them aggressive, they demolished some or they attacked some mosques in the Calicut region. 2 or 3 or 4 mosques were attacked. And also the saints or the Sayyid leaders who were their leaders, they were also disgraced by these MSP people by converting them to Hinduism forcefully. So what will happen? Naturally, the people became infuriated, and there was complete kind of riots all over the country. And also the Congress people were not allowed by the government to go to the riot affected areas and to save the people. They were also arrested. So we have a number of instances that the Congress leaders were arrested because they wanted to preach in non-violence among the people. But the government, they stopped it because they wanted to make it aggressive. And also they spread a number of rumors among the people to make them rise against the Hindus. So these kind of things were happening in the country in very late. But even then, the leaders of Khilafat, Ali Musliyar, and also Variangunnat Kunya Hamadaji, we find them deputing members or their Khilafat leaders, giving security to the Hindu illams or manas or their houses. And also very clearly, Kunya Hamadaji, he told the people, and also he told the Congress leaders, and also he told to the press that there should be no kind of ill will between the communities. There will be no forced conversion. And there will be no division among Hindus and Muslims. Everyone should be very much, they should be united because they are fighting for the freedom of the country. And also anywhere we can't see that Kunya Hamadaji is rising against Hindus or he is speaking a single word against Hindus. So even then, how he is depicted, how the whole Malabar rebellion is depicted as a Hindu genocide is very wrong. And we have no such evidence to show that the Khilafat leaders were responsible for any kind of forced conversion or for any kind of illegal activities. Illegal means against Hindus. And we know every incident what Variangunnat Kunya Hamadaji was doing to forge or to maintain the alliance between Hindus and Muslims. We have the proofs written by Madhavan Nair. We have also proofs written by K.P. Keshav Menon and other national leaders, what they were saying about Variangunnat Kunya Hamadaji and the Khilafat leaders. So something happened. There were skirmishes, there were forced conversions, there was looting. Because when there were no leaders, the rebellion has become a kind of loot or a kind of killing innocent people, even Hindus. These are not the part of the Khilafat movement. So in every movement, there should be some illegal activities like that. You see when the Trishur Puram is going on, And if there is some skirmishes in any part of this Puram activity, can you say that it is a part of Trishur Puram? So in the First World War, there were a number of kind of robberies and everything. The people were very much, they were killed everywhere. Innocent people were killed. So we can't say that it was part of the main aims of the war, what Nazis were doing. And also in the First War of Independence, and also in the Quit India movement. A number of people were killed, innocent people were killed. So, but these are not the part of these movements. It is actually brought about by the robbers and also the well-intentioned people who did it. It is not as the part of the people or as a part of the movement. So we had to count, or we had to find it in the Malabar Rebellion also. In such a way we had to read it. You go through K.N. Panikar's book, Gangadharan's book, or Madhavan Nayar's book, all these people, and you make the decision and see what is the facts of history. Thank you very much.